Welcome to Watch Crazy. I'm your host Nick Cohen, and today we're going to take a look at 7 of the best pre-owned watches that you can buy for under £1,000, euros and approximately dollars. But before we get started, please ensure to like, share and hit that subscribe button now if you would like to see more great videos like this one. Now, following on from my previous video, I thought it would be quite interesting to put together a selection of watches from 7 brands that you would know about, but with watches that you may have either not noticed, considered, or possibly even knew of. All of the links to the following available watches can be found in the description below. So, without further ado, let's get this party started. At number 1 we have Glycine, founded in Bienne, Switzerland by Eugene Meylan in 1914. The company has a very interesting history. They in fact brought out a pilot's GMT watch known as the Airman, which they still produce today, a year before Rolex released their GMT Master in 1954. And though Glycine was fairly recently acquired by Invicta Watch Group, it has fortunately, with the exception of a new logo, remained untouched and continues to operate independently from Invicta. The watch we have pictured is the Glycine Eugene Meylan Automatic. It's a tribute to the very first Glycine wristwatches released in the mid-1930s. It is a stunning timepiece, powered by the ETA 2895-2. I believe it was released roughly 8 years ago, but I could be wrong. There weren't that many ever produced, and they initially retailed at £1,660. You can find the occasional pre-owned version for sale at around £700. That's 774 euros or $900. At number 2 we have the ultimate alternative to the IWC 3717 pilot's watch, the Fortis B42 Flieger. Fortis was founded by Walter Woldt in 1912 in Grench, Switzerland. In 1923, another chap by the name of John Harwood had set to work on creating the world's first self-winding movement for wristwatches. He joined forces with Walter the following year and painted it the Harwood Automatic. In 1926, they released the world's very first self-winding wristwatch at Bezelwald. Since 1962, many of their watches have been used and tested on numerous US, Russian and German space missions. There are several variations of this particular watch, and it in fact uses the same movement, Voulger 7750, as the IWC. Prices for many of these were upwards of £2,000. You can currently find a good selection of pre-owned B42s on the market from under £800. That's 884 euros or $1,029. At number 3 we have a watch from Bulova, founded by New York-based Joseph Bulova in 1875. By 1912 the company was well established in America under the name Bulova, and in Switzerland as 3 subsidiaries, Bulova Accu Swiss, Caravel and Wittner. The company was acquired in 2007 by Citizen Watch Group. Something few people know about Bulova is that in 1945, Ard Bulova, Joseph's son, founded the Joseph Bulova School of Watchmaking, which trained up disabled war veterans. The school very quickly became a fully fledged rehabilitation centre for disabled people nationwide. Anyway, the stunning watch we are looking at is the Chronograph F, produced in 1972. It uses a beautiful 17-jewel manual wind movement borrowed from Buren, the 14EFAD. Now, these watches are fairly scarce in the grand scheme of things, but they do come up from time to time. Prices usually start from over the £1,000 mark, but you do still find decent ones starting around the £800 mark. For example, the one pictured with the blue leather strap is currently for sale through Watches of Knightsbridge on their Chrono 24 page at £744. That's 823 euros or $957. At number 4, we have quite an unusual choice and certainly not everyone's cup of tea. However, you cannot deny that the Porsche Design Flat 6 isn't a fabulous, almost futuristic looking sports watch. Porsche originally teamed up with Ofina over 40 years ago to create the first completely black stainless steel watch in 1972, which looks just as good and as modern today as it did those years ago. Porsche then moved away from Ofina in 1978, joining forces with IWC, where their designs became even more creative. By 1998 to present day, Porsche design watches have been produced by 162-year-old Eterna. This specific PVD coated stainless steel version with the carbon fibre dial has sapphire crystal glass, is water resistant to 100 meters, uses an automatic ETA movement, and great examples can be found online from around £800. That's 884 euros, or just a little over the budget for America at $1,029. In at number 5. So from having looked at a car producer making watches, we now take a look at a watchmaker that makes watches with cars in mind, TAG Heuer. Founded in 1860 in Le Chaux de Fonds, Switzerland by Edward Heuer. Though TAG have only in more recent years started to produce their own in-house movements again, in 1882 they had patented their very first chronograph movement. And in 1887 Edward patented the oscillating pinion. Without getting too technical on this genius mechanism allows chronographs to function extremely efficiently, providing lightning fast starting and stopping speeds at 2/1000ths of a second. The watch in front of you is the TAG Heuer Link Chronograph Automatic from the early noughties. It's personally one of my favourite slightly more modern designs from TAG. It uses the staple Volger 7750. It has sapphire crystal glass, is 200 meters water resistant, and many examples can be found from £900. For example, this one pictured is for sale with William May for £895. That's 990 euros or $1,150. At number 6, we have a brand that everybody knows, Omega. Pictured here is an early 1980s Seamaster TV watch, as it's better known due to its K-shape. The Seamaster range was launched in 1948 to mark Omega's 100th year anniversary. Something you may not know is the Seamaster, which was originally loosely based upon Second World War British military wristwatches, is Omega's longest running line of watches. Subsequently, as you can imagine, there have been an astonishing number of different Seamaster designs since. My favourite of these is this one pictured, a 1983 automatic quickset day date. This one is in absolutely mint condition. These do not come up too frequently. However, the watch on your screen is currently up for grabs at $1,145 with concierge of time. That is roughly £980 or 1,080 euros. And finally, at number 7, we have the quite unusual but very intriguing Ebel Voyager GMT. Now, though Ebel has a pretty long-standing history dating back to 1911 with many great achievements under its belt, only very basic information can be found online about them, such as the company being founded by husband and wife team Eugene and Alice Bloom. The name Ebel was taken from Eugene's name and Alice's premarital name, Eugene Bloom et Levy. In 1932, their son Charles took over the reins. Shortly after, during the Second World War, between 1939 to 1945, they produced incredibly robust watches specifically designed for the British Air Force. In 1999, the LVMH Group beat the Swatch Group in acquiring the brand, which then they sold on to the Movado Group in 2003. Anyway, The best of the most recent designs, in my view, came in those 3.5 years of LVMH Group's ownership. This all stainless steel Voyager GMT being one of those designs. The watch uses the automatic caliber E123, which is essentially a slightly modified ETA 2893-2. It has sapphire crystal glass, is water resistant to 200 meters. It looks deceivingly bigger than it is at 40 millimeters in diameter. And superb examples can be found online from £800. That's 884 euros or $1,029. Thank you for watching, and if you enjoyed this video and would like to see more great videos like this one, then please be sure to like, share, subscribe and stay tuned.